Hi everyone, I'm Von Kevitz, knit and crochet designer for one-of-a-kind makers who dare to be original, and I'm so glad that I got awesome crocheter here today. Her name is Aneta from Crochet Arcade. Hi Aneta.
Hello, Von.
Tell everybody who you are.
Sorry?
Tell everybody who you are.
Yes, so I am a pattern designer. As my cup says, I'm a wife, mom, and boss. So as you and as most of the people who watch this video, we are solopreneurs. So I run my business by myself, where I crochet my patterns and I do absolutely almost everything myself. So I make up the design in my head, I write it down, I make it, and I take pictures. Then I actually edit the pictures and edit all the stuff in Word document, and I publish it. I write a description, everything,
Yeah.
pins and stuff like that. So one person runs everything, but hopefully soon I will hire someone to edit my pictures because it does take a lot of time.
Yeah.
So I do have a husband, 2 kids, and besides that, I also run 3 other businesses, which are not craft or crochet related. They relate to properties, which is estate, I guess in the US, that's what you call it. We do estate. We've got some roomlets, and then we do educational courses how to do it. And we also run business meetings. So recently, that's why I've not published that many patterns, because that took a lot of my time recently. But I really hope that this will be done soon. I'll be able to automate everything and delegate everything, and then I can focus on producing more patterns, because that's really what I like to do.
Wow, you are like a multi-entrepreneur then.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of the eggs in different baskets, like they said. Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, let's how did you get started on your creative journey?
Well, I've started quite a lot of time ago. It was when I came to England, because I'm Polish. Yeah, that's what I didn't mention before. I come from Poland, but I lived in UK for 12 years now. So I think in 2009, when I got pregnant and my son was born in 2010, I then remember that I've learned how to crochet from my mom when I was a little girl. And I thought it would be nice, for the baby now to crochet him some hats and blankets and things like that. So I kind of got into it again after so many years. So I started making things here and there. And then I sort of didn't like to use people's pattern. Once I figured it out, I just prefer to make it my way, and it just all came out of my head when I was doing things. And I start writing things down, as you always do. That's what most people do. Just start, once you get proficient in something, you then start to make things up yourself. So then all the patterns start coming up. And I thought, and then I've realized you could sell them. So I've put a few up in my shop, but it was only I did one a year or something like that. And I never really market it or do anything with it. I didn't really think of having a career to do that. It was just a hobby, and then something that I just put up because I had it. But after a few years of working for someone else, actually before I worked as an employee for a busy businessman, but I got fed up with it. I got bored with doing bookkeeping and things like that, and I started I started reading a lot of books. And as you do, I know you also do read a lot of books from the subject of self-improvement.
Mm-hmm.
Start to read all those books, and it actually turned out that you could run your own business and have more time for your family and be happier, doing things in your time without having a boss above you and telling you what to do. And that really, really suited me. So I started, what could I do? What talents do I have? And then naturally I thought, crochet is the thing that I could actually do, and I could create some passive income from it, because that's really what I aim to do. Have a passive income where I create a product, put it up there, and earn money on it. To have basically, my aim is to have more time for my kids, spend more time maybe traveling and doing fun things in life. But obviously work is also important. So I don't plan to like retire and don't do anything. I still do want to work because I enjoy it. It's all fun. I really enjoy doing all the other projects as well. So that's how it became that I became the crochet pattern designer. Basically, I just wanted to create some business from it.
So what is your big why for pursuing this solopreneur lifestyle?
Yes, it's my kids. I've got 2 kids, 9-year-old Sebastian and 2-year-old Maria. And yes, I would like to, after they come back from school, I'd like to just spend the afternoon with them doing fun things and going away on weekends. Obviously now it's not happening that much yet because whenever you start a business, especially at the beginning, it's a lot of work involved. So a lot of people think that, pattern designer, once you design the pattern, it's done, yeah, but it takes a lot of time to set everything up, set up your website, set up your social media, create a following on that social media. That takes a lot of time. It's not just that you create a pattern and put it up there and don't do nothing. You have to do some sort of promotion. You have to reply to the messages. You also create more products because with time people might get bored of them, and most people might just already use them, and not so many more people starts to crochet anymore. So you have to keep producing them. So it is work involved all the time. But yeah, I just want to do like whatever kids are at school, I just want to go and to my studio. Hopefully I will have one soon. And do my crochet work, which will be really enjoyable.
Yeah, I recently read or heard somewhere, it's probably one of the podcasts or something, where they said that how when we start a new business, we think we're working so hard, and we wonder why we're not like profiting within the first year. But somebody had mentioned you have to look at a new business, like a brand new business, like a brand new baby. Is your business a year old? What is the year-old baby able to accomplish?
That's a good comparison. Yeah. You have to change all the nappies all the time.
Yeah, like you're constantly changing the diapers, constantly crying, constantly feeding, right? Like constantly working into it. And as the baby gets older, you know what I mean? He gets stronger, more self-sufficient, and that's how we have to treat our businesses. That same way, or look at it in that way. So you wouldn't yell at a 1-year-old and go, "Why aren't you profiting?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why am I working so hard for you and you're not getting me anything?
I've spent like 6 months literally like just working on my website and not producing any patterns, and that was, you could say, I wasn't producing any income, but I did want my website to be showing what I want people to show about me, the style and everything. I wanted to be really nice. So I thought I'll spend the time and do it. Although I wish I've maybe hired someone and tell someone how to do it rather than learn everything myself, because I did actually design my own website. I've learned how to do it. I did all the logo for myself. So and I did learn how to do a lot of things in Photoshop myself. So I did spend a lot of time on learning. But the skill, it is investing in yourself. Maybe it didn't make money then at the end there, but I did learn a lot of things which I can use in my other businesses. So now I knew how to build a website. I could build a website for my other 3 businesses, all that, and design logos. So once you've got the skill and you learn it, you can use it several times. So yeah, first year was very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you were to hire out to do anything, it's always in good practice that before you hire, because if you hire, you don't know what you're paying for, you know what I mean, in the person and the skill. And then even if they like built the website for you, if you don't know how to run your website, and then you're a slave to the person you hired to do it, then you know what I mean, they have in essence to have a hold over you because you didn't attain that power yourself in the first place. So one way or another, you're gonna need to learn it.
Yes, you need to kind of have that skill to even add the products, to edit them, to deal with orders on your website. It's all, you kind of need to learn it a little bit to do it yourself. Obviously you can use places like Ravelry or Etsy, but you can still learn things on there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what is your making process?
At the minute, you mean patterns, yeah, wise?
Yes.
Yeah. So, well, I'll actually say, because what I'm the most famous for is I'm most famous for my blankets that turn into amigurumi animals. So this is my animal sheep, and this is my bestseller cow.
Get out of here. The cow is the bestseller before the sheep?
Yes. I thought sheep was doing really well, and then and really did turn everything around. It's really, it went viral several times, the cow, on the internet. I think one link that was made by a craft page had 22,000 shares on Facebook. That's one link for the cow. And that's the pig that I've recently done. And I'm doing the elephant, which I can actually give you a sneak peek. I haven't seen it yet, how it turned out. So I'll show you the head, which I have.
Your creations are amazing. That is ridiculous. You guys have to go get these patterns. I think I'm going to snatch it too.
Well, I'm still experimenting with them, but this is the hardest thing I've ever done. This trunk took me forever to design it that way. It twists so many ways. It twists that way. I actually came up.
I love the detail of your the mouth.
Yeah, I was experimenting with that. I don't know if it's turned out okay or not. It's actually,
looks amazing.
Because the elephant.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, I was like, there's a mouth on it, and I've looked. The elephant's got this like a pointy mouth, doesn't it? So
that looks amazing.
And I've got the ear here, which I'll try to put on so you can imagine maybe in your head how it looked like with the ear.
Oh my God. You know, Aneta, I love doing these creative interviews because I love connecting with you awesome ladies that like do these extraordinary things. When I see like these amigurumis that like show everybody the sheep and the cow again, I want them back in the frame because they're so cute. Not that you're not beautiful yourself,
ladies.
When I see like creations like this, I'm like looking into your brain going, I can't believe her mind came up with that. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe like all this beauty comes out of, you know what I mean, out of that brain of yours. Like just the detail of the cow's mouth, you know, like that pattern, like to his face, you know.
Yeah,
it's always mind blowing to me.
My husband is my biggest critic. Yeah, I've designed something and then he says, "Oh, it doesn't look like a real cow," or something. Or I've designed the sheep. My original sheep was like with this face which is like big in the front, like the cartoon toy type of face, yeah. And he said, sheep doesn't have a face like this. So I was like, well, it doesn't, but a lot of people make them like this. So then I went, okay, I'll Google the sheep, the real sheep, and I actually tried to make the actual shape of real sheep's sheep head, and I think that's what differentiates to me and my patterns from other amigurumi, that they're quite realistic, and I had quite a lot of comments on the cow as well, that it's like the most realistic crochet cow.
Yeah, your details is
yeah, because I did stare on those pictures on Google for so long. Believe me, when I was making the cow, I had a cow on my phone, screenshots of all the pictures, and I was keep coming back to them, looking how this shape of the head is actually formed, where it gets wider, where it gets narrower, and I try to also always reproduce it as much as I can. The same with the piggy and the ears and everything, to be as most realistic as I can do.
Right. I love the different, if you guys get all of her patterns, you could just tell all the different techniques that you're learning because every face is different. Even the ears are all different. So you're not even like duplicating your ears.
There's nothing duplicated in my patterns. Yeah,
every animal that you have, you're going to be acquiring so many new skills.
Yeah.
Like just on these 3 patterns alone, I'm like, that's a lot of new skills you can attain.
Yes, it's all different techniques, and I get a lot of people, like especially beginners, asking me if this pattern is okay for the beginner, and I say to them, well, it's intermediate pattern, but you can learn from it if you're a beginner to be that intermediate person. And I did get a lot of feedback from beginners who tried the pattern, and they said they just learned so much. Because what I do in my patterns, I always try to put links to all the tutorials. So there's nothing like that you are wondering how to do the stitch. I've got special stitches instructions in the pattern, but I also put the link to the videos of different things like how to embroider the eyes, because I did my own tutorial on that. And I have a tutorial for bubble stitch for my sheep. I do have like magic ring tutorials and things like that. So I do always put them on so people don't have to go and search. Just click the link in my pattern and can learn there and then and make it. So
that's awesome. I do the same thing with my patterns. I link all my videos to my patterns so that it just makes it easier for people. I think we're in a new media now, you know, where people like, that's the privilege of being in this time doing these patterns, because we can have easily links to our ready-made videos, you know, ready to go to share with people and teach people how to do something instead of like not having learned. So basically any newbie can pick up, you know what I mean? Even my patterns, any newbie can pick up my patterns for the same reasons, because the hard stitches I show you in the videos. So you're learning them anyways, you know? And I look at that and I look at those things and they look complicated, but in truth, even for an intermediate or an expert maker, they'd have to look at the pattern the same way. You know what I mean? As a beginner, you're going to read the instructions. You're going to make the pieces at a time. You're going to assemble it as you go. So I just think a newbie might only just take longer.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But they'll get the job done.
All the future patterns will be easy for them to make, And I do put a lot of pattern notes in my pattern notes, like half a page sometimes, you know, for different bits, where I try to explain a few times in different words, you know, how to do certain thing, if it's something more tricky or something that I've just invented myself, because I did actually come up with a few techniques myself. I don't know if other people use it or not, because I've never used other people's patterns, so maybe other people use that techniques, but I just come up with things and then I write them down in a pattern, and hopefully that helps people to follow it, and I do get a lot of feedback that they are extremely easy to follow,
right?
Beginners and other people. So you can learn all the different techniques, and like in here you've got bubble stitch used, in here you've got a graph gun, you know, which is a totally different method of changing the color than the normal way, so you can learn that as well. So all fun and games.
Or Aneta, I keep saying you because of the way you're spelling. Aneta.
You're used to us thinking
I'm
that
so
way
used
for
to
so
it in
long.
my head that I'm like, I have to correct myself now that I learned how to pronounce her name the correct way.
That's okay.
That's another great reason for doing these creative interviews. I love meeting people online like this. I think you've made a true fan of me. I think I'm gonna go and snatch all 3 of those patterns, and because
I'm actually gonna add the code. I was meant to do it for a while, because I was waiting once I've got all 3 together. This is like a farm animal kind of pack. Give like I think 5 or 10%. I'm not sure on when you buy 3 of them. So I'm gonna add that side, even though there are 3 completely different patterns. When you buy in bulk, you deserve some sort of discount. So I'm gonna put that.
Awesome. So by the time this releases, that pack should already be out, and go grab it, because I'm definitely going to go grab that. Because there's so many awesome techniques. Like, I think you've pretty much covered the entire branch of crochet. I think you've covered everything. And by the time you're done with those 3 animals, you will be a crochet master. Literally.
Yes, I do actually learn a lot myself, to be honest with you, when designing patterns, because before this blanket. I've never done grab gun myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I actually had to design the grab gun using grab gun software. I had to do all that myself, and then I had to actually learn how to change the colors and things before I write it up on a computer. So I do also learn while doing that, and then I help others to learn too.
Absolutely. Do you have any tips for newbie makers?
Yes, the tip would be to actually look at the patterns and look at how the obviously the reviews as well, and pick those patterns that are positively reviewed. So because once you get the pattern that is badly written, you might get put off from crocheting, because I know a lot of people are really frustrated when they pick up bad quality pattern. They even pay for it sometimes, and they don't know how to make things, and they may think it's their fault that they're not able to follow it, and maybe they're just not meant to crochet, so they can turn back from crocheting and say, oh, it's not for them. So I would advise every beginner to just pick good quality pattern to start with. I know free is good because it's free, but it's not always good quality. I don't say all free patterns are bad quality. Some are well, but also, pick those from the good designers, from the well-known designers who got positive opinion about their patterns. Because you don't need to struggle when you're beginner, and you don't need to try to figure things out yourself, because it's difficult. Crochet is difficult. It's not that easy, to pick up. So there's different techniques that come up now, that I use in my patterns, all the new techniques, which are not like a traditional crochet. So even people who learned, who crocheted for last 30 years, they say they learned something from my patterns, because they used traditional techniques, and they didn't know about all these tips and tricks that you could do these days, and they learn things. So try to pick up good quality patterns to start with.
Aneta, I tested years ago a pattern of yours.
Yes.
And it was the teacup, right? Was it
teapot? Yeah.
Was it a mat? It's just a 2D. It's a flat teacup. It was a heart. I remember that. And the detail on your pattern, you know what I mean, was so amazing. I was like, this is literally a book. It is not.
Yeah, my pattern's got like between 12 and 16 pages.
Yeah, your patterns are highly detailed. So because you cover everything, so it's really a self-explanatory. There's no guessing game when it comes to your patterns, and that takes a lot of work.
Since that pattern actually improved to add even more, because with every pattern, you learn things. And what I've learned when I started to design those patterns is that this is the most important thing, and this is the tip for pattern designers if they listen to it. It's just, don't try to make it as short as possible like they do in a magazine, because when you pick up those crochet magazines, they squish the pattern to be the shortest as possible, and then no one knows what's going on. I have an opposite idea. I add as many things as possible, because this also helps you to save time later on. Not only helping person to get it straight away, but you also save yourself answering all the messages. So I hardly get any messages with what, how you do that. And if I get the message, what I usually do, I point them back to the page in the pattern when it's explained, because a lot of people read it through and then ask me questions which are already answered in my pattern, because I do take so much time to answer every little query that they could have, just so it saves me answering all the emails. And if the people miss it, I'll just say, yeah, this is in pattern notes on this page, and stuff like that. So
that is a great tip too for the pattern designers. That isn't actually, you think that on the upfront, if you're making it easy for you to write in the beginning, you know what I mean? You're not thinking about all the back end questions of unanswered questions that they're going to be coming at you at the end. So take the time. That's a very smart tip, to take the time and to be as thorough up front, so that you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again when they have questions. So that's an excellent tip. Do you have any habits or rituals that you do daily?
I'm really bad at that, but I did actually recently read, I think, 4 habit books.
Mm-hmm.
4 habit books that because I've desperately tried to develop habits to have every day, and I do try to be healthier, because I get really bad when I start to work. I just lose myself in it, and I can work for hours, forgetting to drink, forgetting to eat. That's how passionate I am about what I do. So I do try to more do block times now when I do work, and then in the afternoon do dinner and do other things with my kids, not just work. And I'd like to have more structured, like exercising and things like that. I did start now. Last 2 weeks, I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I exercise, which is, I think, quite a good habit and gives you a good start in the day.
That is huge.
Yes. So, well, I don't know if it's something to do with the holidays that I go on Monday. But hopefully, I will keep it up after the holidays as well. I do really want to, exercise regularly almost every day. And I want to work on that habit. Have a habit of meditation as well, and or being present in the moment, and giving a little bit more time for myself to just not think about anything and relax, clear my mind, because as you can imagine, with 4 businesses, my mind goes on all the time. Doesn't get a break much. So I want to work on that, to have a little bit more time to be quiet and just relax.
Right.
But yeah, I will work on more habits. I've got really four really good books, so I can recommend some as well. If
I was going to ask you, what are the 4 books?
Yes, one is so good for everyone who wants to develop the habit. I did actually take notes and stuff from it. I've got my Audible here, and I'll tell you. The title is Better Than Before, and it's written by Gretchen Rubin.
I'm gonna write that down, because Audible's coming up for me too this month, and I'm not sure what my next book. I just finished Eat That Frog, which I absolutely love. I can listen to that over and over again. It's on time management and procrastination.
Yes, I did read that years ago. Yeah.
Every morning I wake up and I go, what is my frog? What is the frog that I have to eat today?
Yeah, I do that very often as well. There's something on my list that I don't want to do. I was like, okay, I'll do it first.
And it's been working, because I'm like, which one is the biggest and the fattest, ugliest frog that I'm gonna down before I do anything else?
Yeah.
What was that again? Better Than Before?
Yeah, Better Than Before. Mastering the Habits of Our Everyday Lives. This is just like a subtitle.
Okay.
Gretchen Rubin, and it's really, really good. I think she's got another book, which I'm not read yet, but it's something about happiness, which I'm going to get as well, because this book was really, really good. Yeah. It just shows the views on habits that I've never read in any other book before.
Right.
And it also helps you to find out things about yourself. So she talks about different type of personalities and people that you are, and I've actually realized what sort of person I am. It's like with the designing as well. With any aspect of your life, you could be sprinter, which I am. So, and then you could be the other one. I don't remember what it was called, but the person who does things gradually. So you could be the person who always you've got an exam and you learn every day to that exam, or you've got an exam at that day and you learn. You spend every day all day for the last week before the exam. That second person, I did study economics on university, and I always start to study 2 days before the exam, and I spent all night drinking 4 coffees a day to learn the subject.
I used to grow up I wish I was the other person that did something gradually every day. It's been so I'm 40 years old and I'm still working my way to, I wish I was that kind of person. I'm better.
You don't change it, don't change yourself, but turn things around to be, the way that you can actually manage to do. So don't force yourself to be that different person, because you will never be. And that's what I realized about myself thanks to that book, and a lot of eureka moments, light bulb moments that I had, which I'm actually happy about.
Right. What are the other books?
The other books is 15 secrets successful people know about the time management.
Okay.
And Level Up Your Day, that was really good as well.
Ooh.
Level Up Your Day.
I've heard Level Up Your Day, and I've heard of Better Than Before. Okay. What's the last one?
The Now Habit is the fourth book. The Now Habit.
I've heard of that one too. Okay.
It's a bit boring, but it's got a lot of different tips as well, which are quite good. A lot of
Better Than Before is your favorite right now?
It's the favorite one, yeah, because it was just mind blowing. The things I found out about myself, and how to turn the habits into realization. And I did actually manage to, the habit of drinking more water. When I actually end up drinking a lot of coffee and tea, but will forget to drink water. I actually got a tip from the book where she says connect it with different activity, or do something like, I need to do that before I do that. So I told myself, to deserve the coffee in the morning, I have to drink a glass of water first. So it was kind of good, because I had this sort of motivation. I wanted that coffee, but I remembered that I had to actually drink water first. And that gets me into the habit of drinking water, because I really want the coffee badly. And I don't have a problem with thinking about coffee. I just have a problem about remembering about the water. So that sort of helps you connect those two activities.
For 2 months now, I've started the habit of waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And the habit is not waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. The habit is not snoozing. You know what I mean? So all my energy was to wake up and not snooze. And that's where I put all my energy into. Don't snooze. If you're tired, go downstairs, make your coffee, you know what I mean? Let the dogs out. And then if you can't open your eyes, then go back to sleep. But you have to go downstairs and do all that first, and try to wake up in the morning. But usually by the time I do all that, I'm up. You know what I mean?
I snooze every day.
Yes, and I'm the biggest offender. I was the biggest offender of snooze. I could snooze 5 times, on a daily, as a daily habit. But that was the only focus I had, was that. And then the other one was, while I was making my coffee, I drank a big glass of water before I start. So as my coffee maker is heating up, I'm already chugging a big glass of water, and then I go into the coffee. And those are my 2 big habits that I mastered for the past 2 months.
I so wish I could get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and have some work done before my kids get up. You could do so much more in a day.
That's what they said. And I'm like, I don't have any kids, but I have a daytime job. I have, you know what I mean? So it took me the longest time, because I would snooze to the end, run to work, feel you know what I mean? And then by the time I got home, I didn't want to do anything. I was work got the best of me, and then I'm supposed to give something to myself. I was it was too hard, So then I was reversed, and I was okay, I'm gonna put all my energy in waking up the time I've always wanted to, but I never did. And then when I did, I just kept upping it. So I was 6 o'clock, 5:30, and I was still not enough time. Yeah, I gradually did it. It was still not enough time. I'm still rushing. Still not enough time. I'm still rushing, and now I'm at a happy 5. So it's 3 hours before I have to be at work at 8. You know what I mean? And so.
Do you actually go to sleep earlier to get up earlier?
Yes, I do.
You have to, because you would be tired.
I had to work at that too. For the longest time, I was sleeping 5 hours to 6 hours to 7 hours, because I had to get myself tired. You know what I mean? And work my way into.
My problem is to go to sleep. It's not even get up. It's to go to sleep early, to have enough time to to sleep and rest. That's the problem. I always have a lot of things to do, and I try to do them after the kids go to sleep at 9, and then that's start to work, and then forget about time, and never go to sleep early. I do try to work on it, and I do actually, where before I did go to sleep at midnight or 1 a.m. Now I do go at 11 p.m., which is improvement for myself as well. So I do gradually try to more rest and and have more sleep. But that's really important, for your brain and your work. You have to be rested.
Speaking of sleep, there's a sleep book that was on my list. I can't remember the title, but that was one of the.
I need to read what you have to give me the title, because I want to read about more.
Yeah, I heard a synopsis of a really good sleep book, and I think I favored it on Audible. I'll message it to you later on today when I find that title, because that's one of my, because I need to, because it was something about the way your brain and how everything, you know what I mean, you're more productive in your sleep.
But they're over interesting to sleep, because I want to find
sleeping is the time that your brain is processing everything that you've taken in. And if you've cut that time short, then we wonder why we can't remember, or we're sluggish, and we're not as sharp as we're supposed to be. But our brain is like a beautiful tool, and it's like downloading a whole bunch of things in your computer, but not sorting it out and processing it while you're sleeping. That's when our brain is doing that. And if you don't sleep enough, you're not allowing that to happen. You wake up and it hasn't fully processed. So I was like listening to it, I'm like, I need to get this book to drill that lesson in my brain.
Did you read Miracle Morning, maybe? Because you were saying.
No, I've heard of that book. I've heard synopsis. No, that's about a morning routine. So I've heard about that book, but I never read it.
Sort of like it's what you said. That's what they advise you to just get up as soon as you wake up, and then try to like put the water on your face and do things to awake you, like you naturally started doing yourself. Go downstairs as far away from the bed as you can. Back. So but you could read that as well, because it's quite good as well. A lot of people say good things about that book.
So we're both book readers, and we're both into developmental books, because that's how we invest in ourselves. How do you invest in yourself other than that?
Well, books is the main thing, and there's all sorts of books. Not even like there's self-improvement, like you talk about habits and things. I do read big books like this, but I do also read books that read books. It sounds funny. Listen to books, because I do audio books, because I don't have time to read. I wish I would have more time. I did have more time, but I don't, because I work so much. But with audiobooks, I can just do washing up or do things and listen to it. So I do, like, for my business, I do listen to books like about marketing, which is really, really good for my business. And I recommend that all the pattern designers do also educate themselves about marketing, about social media, about different things like that. I do actually plan to go on different courses regarding to social media advertising and marketing, because it changes all the time. All the Facebook algorithm, Google algorithm, they all change. The CEO and things like that. They have to be on your website to be, so people can find you on Google, so people can find you on Facebook, so people actually read your Facebook posts, and because most of the people don't see the posts. Like, I've got 11,000 followers on Facebook now, but the reach you get is like something 500 people sees it, max.
2% is the Facebook file. 2% of the people, 2% of the people that like your stuff, that follow your page, see your stuff, because Facebook withholds the rest for Facebook ads.
And the new thing is now, the new thing in the algorithm change, that it's what we knew before is that the more people like it, the more people share it, the more people comment it, the more people see it. So the Facebook sees it popular on Facebook, and then tries to show it to other people if the content is popular. But with now with the new recent changes, they say, likes are not so important, shares are not so important, but because they take seconds to do. So if a person just liked it or shared it, doesn't mean it was so good. This person comments, that means the content is good. So these days now, more comments you get, the more people sees it. So the likes are not so important. So you get 100 likes on your post, not many people might see it. But if you got like at least like 4 or 5 good comments, and the length is very important as well. The longer comment, the better they think the post is. If the person actually spent few minutes to write a comment, that means it's a really good and valuable post on your Facebook, and it will then show it to more people. So that's the tip, to get sort of like people to comment on your website, on your Facebook page. Actually reply to all the comments as well, because once you reply to people, they'll comment on your future posts. Once you ignore some of the comments, they might not come back and comment on your next post.
Yes.
That's what I've learned recently. So I do follow, like you said, what other things I do to learn. I do follow a lot of people like on Facebook as well, like Neil Patel. He's really good marketer. He's got his marketing agency, and I do follow his Facebook page. And he does like regular videos about what's on with marketing at the minute, what's working, what's not working, with blogs, with Facebook page, with social media. It gives you a lot of tools. So there's a lot of free knowledge as well, besides the book, they can do. Because what works in marketing now is giving free content, giving free information and stuff. So a lot of people give you free information to encourage you to buy services from them. So marketing people will tell you and give you all the tips for free on their Facebook pages and on their blogs. So it's good to follow all the blogs, how to sell using Pinterest. There's all sorts of blogs in that subject that you can learn a lot of things for free, not even spending any money.
Absolutely. There, in this day and age, there is no skill that anybody can't learn that isn't already free on the internet. It's everything.
It's no excuse not to know things, because there's much free knowledge out there.
Yeah.
Just have to take your time and read stuff.
I wanted to, so we're done with all my my questions, but I did want to touch on your latest project about your pattern. About the box set. Can you tell us, everybody, because that's amazing how you got that deal.
Oh yes. Well, I didn't actually tell anyone yet, so I'll tell it first time here. But
we're not releasing this for like months.
Yes.
So by the time this airs,
it will be out. Yes,
it will be
it's actually happening on the 1st of April. So in 2 days, it's going to be released on the market. So actually,
you're safe to talk about it here.
Yes, I'm not going to say any, like, I didn't say anything on my Facebook page yet, so I thought, I'll just, wait till I actually have a link to their product on their website to actually show people that it happened, rather than me saying that something will happen in the future.
That's awesome.
An email from Marie Maxim. Is that how you pronounce it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is well known, isn't it?
Canadian, right? Canadian yarn online company.
It's not. It's North USA.
Yes, there is Canada and then the U.S., but I believe their bigger branch is in Canada, only because I have a worker that orders only their yarn, and she keeps ordering through Canada by mistake, and I'm like, how do you land on that website? I'm like, stay in the U.S. website, because I guess it's because they have like good yarns. So they contacted you. They saw which pattern.
They contacted me about sheep and a cow, because that's what I had at the moment. I didn't have a pig back then yet.
Right.
They first contacted me, and I didn't actually know how it will work. So at first I was a bit skeptical, and I thought, do they want to buy the pattern and take it away from me? Because I'm not doing that. They are my best sellers. But no, it turned out they actually want to just borrow the rights to sell the pattern with the yarn kit on their website and via their catalogs, which is like really good for me, because I don't actually have the access now to people who don't use internet.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of people who crochet and don't use the internet and don't look at the patterns that you can buy online. They mostly like buy paper stuff, paper patterns from the shops. So they do release paper catalog. I think I can say that, how many I'll maybe not say it, because I don't know if I can. He told me how many, it's in millions, how many catalogs they sent out by post.
Huge.
So it's millions of them, yeah. And then they obviously going to sell that via catalog, paper one, and then on their website too. They're going to pay me commission from each sale, and obviously they're going to make money on the yarn. So they're going to, I've sent them all the files, I've signed the agreement, so it's all official. It's all happening. They tested the pattern. They chose a different brand of yarn that I use because it was cheaper. Because obviously I use the UK brand, although accessible in US now. I think a lot of people may have requested it because of my pattern. And I do see a lot of comments in my group. I've got a Facebook group for just the customers, and they say, "Oh, I can't get that yarn anywhere. It's all sold out." You know,
that's
the patterns
awesome.
are so popular. So yeah.
You guys, this isn't releasing till after May, so the link to that box set, let's put that in the show description as well. So send me that link once that goes live.
Okay.
And
will do.
By the time you guys are viewing this, that box set is thriving and hopefully not sold out. Maybe hopefully sold out. We'll see.
Yes.
Maybe reproduce second round. Hopefully, you know. But yeah, we'll put that link below so you guys can get a box set. I've never known anybody to get a box set at a major company. Like this is huge. This is huge for you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
And I can't wait.
So excited too.
Yeah. So definitely, and I'm gonna look out for when I can get these 3 patterns on a discount, you know, bundle pack. So you guys join me in on that, and we'll put that link in the show description below it as well. Aneta, thank you so much for doing this. This has been amazing.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me. And I actually wanted to say that you are the first person who ever interviewed me. So there you go.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I thrive to be the first, everybody's first. All right, guys, thank you. Give this video a thumbs up and share it. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, be sure to. All of Aneta's links to Facebook and Instagram and everything, and her shop and her website is down below. So go check her out, go follow her, and go show her some love and support. And I guarantee you, I know just by looking at those 3 heads that if you get those patterns, make them, you will be a crochet master. They're every single, just looking at the 3 ears, they're all different. So you're already learning 3 different techniques.
That's actually in each pattern some choices as well. Like cows got 2 choice of ears.
Okay.
Things like that. You can make it. There's like modules. Yeah, I've got different suggestion of colors for the nose because I've looked and there's so many different breeds of cow and stuff. So I thought they could decide which one to choose. So I thought I'll make 12 different designs of the head and the identification in the Photoshop, how the heads will look with different noses, without the horns, without the hair, you know, like if you wanted to make it different way. So there's all sorts of different things That's
funny. That's awesome. That's so awesome. All right, guys. Until next time, thank you, Aneta. I'm going to get this right. Aneta.
Thank you, Vaughn, for having me.
Until next time, God bless, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.